Hey, everybody, welcome to Office Hours. Today, we're talking about all the things that you should or could pay for and what you should invest in. And when you have a little bit of cash that comes your way, what are good uses to that? If you have any questions as you're watching, drop it in the comments or drop it in the chat, drop it in the comments after the show. We always come back and answer comments. This is a follow-up to our things that you should not pay for episode, which people had a lot of feelings and disagreements about. So that's what we're talking about today.
Right. And I feel like that's kind of a good place to start, just throw this question out there. Why is it important to invest in yourself?
Ooh.
Period.
Because if you don't invest in yourself, no one is going to invest in you. And especially in today's industry, you have so many tools and so much power to build a community, fan base, business where you control a lot of things. So that model of like, oh, I'm going to put my music out and hope that someone discovers me, or, oh, wait until I go viral. One, doesn't work that way. But two, you're putting so much into other people. And so the more you invest in yourself, whether that's like things, products, whether that's investment, learning, knowledge, tools, help, time, self-care, mental health, like these are all big ways. And we're going to get into this, but these are all the big ways that you can invest in yourself, because one, like there's more that we don't know than we know. But two, if you don't, again, I said it, but I'm going to say it again. If you don't invest in yourself, no one is going to invest in you.
Exactly. And I always agree with everything that Nora is saying, short of, a newsletter should come before a website. But when it comes to investing in yourself, if you're trying to get a profit, if you're trying, I don't even care. I actually have on my note card here. I don't even care if a profit is outside of your zeitgeist, right? Like if you're trying to build an audience and people who support you in general, at some point you're gonna have to invest in yourself. And honestly, sometimes it's not always financially, right? I think a lot of creatives in general kind of miss that. And okay, I didn't know how to word this. I have it on my note card, but it's super unorganized, where it's like a lot of creatives are like, well, I'm creative, so I deserve to be paid for that. And anybody who's wants to be part of my movement, whatever, well, they should just do it because I'm creating and I'm exuding the art. I'm pushing forward the culture. And I don't think anybody's necessarily denying that, but I also believe that aren't we all trying to win here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and you said something, Sto, about like I think sometimes artists think that, especially when they're early in their early stage in their career, that they think that making money, like getting the check, is the most important thing. And like money, first of all, money's is not real. So like the value of things is a social construct, but also that like there are things early in your career that have more value than the value of whatever the cash is. So really, like when you're spending money on things, it's an investment in yourself in the same way that like investing in stocks is an investment in yourself. And I know so many artists who are like, oh, the Bitcoin, oh, stocks, but they're happy to give their money to other people to make more money for other people, but they don't think of themselves as the same way. And so like, if we really want to think about like how rich people make money by spending money. And that's like a very different framework than I think some of us were. It's definitely different from how I was raised and like so I had to unlearn and relearn some of these things. But
Okay, I'm not sure if we entirely lost Nora or if it's my internet, because my internet looks like it's kind of kicking right now. Hold on 1 second. Because honestly, it might be me, and I'm not trying to interrupt. I just. Okay. Okay. So sorry there. Nora got kicked out of StreamYard, which is totally fine. She will be back in about 2 seconds, but I'm just going to pick up where she left off. So the reality is that, okay, she's already back, which is perfect. I don't want to have her get cut off and stuff like that. Hold on 1 second.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. Kicked me out.
And I guess we've flipped places, I guess.
So I don't know where I
there we
cut off,
go.
or if I cut you off.
No. I just wasn't sure if it was if it was my internet or StreamYard or whatever. But you were just talking about keep going. I didn't start anything.
Okay. And shout out to everyone who's watching us. Thank you for bearing patience. What I was saying is basically the value of investing in yourself is worth more than the value of that cash. So if you spend $100 on voice lessons that make you a better singer, then when you make that better song and you've learned your craft in a better way, then that's going to give you back more than $100. So, and I know there's a lot of privilege if sometimes like you need that $100, but if you have extra money to spend and invest in, those things are the things that are going to build your infrastructure, like Sto and I talk about all the time, are going to teach you the things that you need to learn so that you can navigate the industry in smarter, more efficient ways. It's going to help you give yourself more time because you can hire a social media person or hire an assistant or hire someone to do the things that you don't want to do. And so the value of, again, is not just the value of the cash, but you got to think about what your skills are worth, what your time is worth, what your learning how to be a better performer is worth, all of those kinds of things. So that's why investing in yourself is so important, because you want to grow and you want to get better. And these are ways that you can do
that. And especially given, I just wanted to touch on what Nora was saying before, where it's like, I'm sorry, some of y'all be investing in paid, like, and again, I meant to mention this at the beginning, where it's like, let's touch on our last episode with pay to play and stuff like that, where in the other episode, where it's like, some of y'all are willing to actually put hundreds, if not, I've literally seen sometimes thousands of dollars towards a playlist placement, towards a pay-to-play performance or whatever. But then you'll come to the people that like can actually help and be like, oh, I ain't got nothing. And it's like, okay, if we change our priorities just a smidge, maybe. Go ahead.
All right. No, it's really about understanding what are the things that are going to get you to where you want to be. So like, if you want to sell 100 albums, whatever, what's going to be the indicator that's going to get you there? And I think a lot of artists are misinformed or have incorrect assumptions about what will get them there. Pay to play will not get you there, but maybe hiring a booking agent is the thing that's going to get you there. Or maybe it's having a lawyer who's going to look at your paperwork and make sure you're getting fair deals is going to get you there. So it's understanding, it's really looking at, like, you have to be a little scientific about it in terms of like, are these things that I think I'm doing going to get me to where I'm going to go? And it comes back to, you got to invest in yourself. So what are some of the things that people should pay for?
Dang, I was going to wait till halftime for that. But either way, I just wanted to step in the point and just say, like, you shouldn't have if you're thinking that a pay-to-play situation, or I'm sorry, that's what I was going to say, is that like just because you're in front of, 50,000, 80,000 people doesn't mean, like in a pay-to-play situation, and even, other situations like that, doesn't mean that they're all going to immediately hop on with what you're doing. And so you have to understand that, like, and that's where the whole, scientific and like logical measuring of like, okay, is this worth it? Is it not, really comes into play, because you're paying, like in some cases, and I'm sorry, I don't care. You have places like South by Southwest charging out the wazoo, and then sometimes fake platform stages and stuff like that, charging crazy money for you to hop on stage, but you're not, you leave and then you're like, oh shit, I didn't get nothing out of it. And like, if you were to invest that money even into just, again, the knowledge aspect, we will talk about this after halftime for sure, but like, artists don't always want to invest in the knowledge aspect, and that stops so many different things from happening to where the investment works. Go ahead, go.
Sorry. I'm like, not having information can cost you money. Like, not having the right people on your team can cost you money. And I think those are the things, and that's the balance between, you want to be careful because there's all this stuff like, don't get scammed, don't pay for PR lists, but investing in people and building a good team around you is so important. Like, that's investing in good people is going to be one of the things that will drastically change your career. And there's different types of people, right? That's folks like Sto and I who can consult for you and coach you through the music industry and help you build out rollouts and plans and marketing and strategy and all of that stuff. There's people who do so many times I hear about artists who hate social media. Then don't do social media. Hire someone to do your social media for you. And the time that you open up in terms of just the physical time that you don't have to be on your phone, but also the mental time that you don't have to think about it and the mental energy that you don't have to put towards social media, hire someone to do that. Hire someone to walk you through it so that you can invest your skill and talent in the things that you do want to do and that will help you. So investing in people and building your team, I think, is one of the best investments that artists can make. And I think it's so funny, like, how hesitant people are to invest in people, but they'll put down like tons of money to have like a car in their music video. Or like, it just, I don't know, maybe because I'm like, I don't get it, but those are one of the things where people focus more on the performance or the like aesthetics of things, but they're behind the scenes. You got to have your behind the scenes and your infrastructure set. Sorry, we talk about this all the time, but I think it's really important. Go ahead.
I'm tired. And that's the reality. Honestly, like before we get into halftime, it's just like, it's not even just about like getting people like us seen more and stuff like that, but it's just, we like, me and Nora have been behind the scenes of music videos. We've seen festival. I mean, Nora literally, actually, perfect plug, we'll do that at halftime. Nora literally curates her own festival from scratch. And so we understand the inner workings that some artists don't. And so when we see artists renting out chains, renting out cars, renting out models and all this other stuff, and then they approach us on some, I got a budget. Okay, but you made the mistake of, because have you ever had an artist tell you like, hey, I spent $5,000 on a music video, but I can't pay you. And it's
because then I want to be like, okay, so what's the plan for your music video? And they don't have one. And they're like, well, I'm putting it on the internet. And I'm like, And y'all, I promise you, this isn't to be like, y'all should hire me and Sto. Don't hire
It's
me.
not.
Hire someone else. Like, it's really,
Literally hire anybody else.
it's, you know, like, it's just what I really want for y'all is to think strategically about your music. And part of that is building out a budget. And part of building out a budget is, what are you expending on? What are you spending on? And then how is that going to come back to you? Like, and so spending money on people is a really worthwhile thing, because I'll give you another example, and I'll tie this into our plug for Den Music Fest, because we're currently accepting submissions for performers and vendors and speakers. One of the things that we ask for at Den Music Fest is a performance video. We want to see you on a stage performing in front of a crowd, so that we can get a sense of what your music is like and how you perform, because that's a high value for us as an art, as a festival. We don't look at how many followers you have or, you know, all of that stuff. We want to put good quality performers on stage. And the number of people who just, one, don't follow instructions. So like, y'all, when you submit to things, follow directions, but also like, just don't have a 30 to 1 minute clip of themselves performing. And that's because they don't invest in someone to go with them to capture the footage of the show. Maybe there's like someone in the audience and they have a phone camera and it's like shaky and you hear the audience being like, ah, like screaming, which is cool, right? And we, as a festival, we are flexible around that stuff, but not all festivals are. So that's one of those things that you spend a little money on, but then you can use it over and over and over and over and over and over again, not only when you're submitting for festivals, but when you're trying to show yourself and maybe get a brand partnership or an endorsement deal, or you're trying to pitch to a potential collaborator and you want to be like, look, this is a vibe about what a show with me is like, so let's do a show together. So now that little bit of money that you spent on a photographer, on a videographer, on an editor to like really put something good together so that you have like essentially a performance reel, is going to pay dividends. Right. And that in early parts of your career is worth so much more than a music video where you rented out an Airbnb, bought a bunch of alcohol, got some cute people in the background, and shot a music video that really honestly also isn't that creative because it looks like everyone else's music video. So maybe a creative director is someone to invest in to help you think about how you can bring your vision to life in a creative, unique, different way, right? These are all things that are going to, again, pay dividends because you're building something long-term and sustainable, not like something you're trying to get a quick fix on. It's not a one-to-one when you're thinking about investing in yourself and your career.
And yeah, just to, again, double down on what Nora's saying, like, it's unbelievable how many artists I've talked to who think it's just snap of the finger. Okay, I did this. Okay, views need to come in immediately. And it's just like, if you slow down and again, think long-term, because the majority of you are looking for long-term success. Or actually, I guess the reality is a lot of you are looking for a lightning in a bottle while simultaneously getting long-term success. And the reality is some of you have seen that lightning in the bottle already. And now you're like, well, wait a minute. Where's the inevitable success that's supposed to come with that? And the reality is it's not inevitable. And so even Tori here is saying, you know, not going to lie, I spend a lot on videos, but I'm trying to invest better now. And it's a process, right? It's not something that happens like everything that we say on office hours is not like right out of the gate, like you should be doing this. Like it's a journey. Okay. We even as, you know, professionals in the industry, we've both have made mistakes and had our own stumbles and stuff like that. But that's why we're trying to be like, yo, listen to us. I can't believe it. Like, and so, you know, we said a few weeks back that like investing in pay to play is is not something that you're always seeing that dividend investment. It's usually just a quick lightning in a bottle. If you're lucky, you're getting that lightning in a bottle, by the way. And then you're back out there, but like next day, just like, oh, okay, I got some followers, but that's it. And so that's why we talk about, again, investing. We had a meeting last week and just talked about like, dang, we haven't talked about what artists should invest in. There's so many people out here, I feel like, that are just like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, including us. Like we don't do this, definitely don't do that. But like, here are the things you should invest in. And I guess here's the question I'm going to throw back at you, because, you know, I guess I kind of tapped on this in the beginning, but it's like, I feel like artists have this kind of idea in their heads that like, okay, well, I should spend $5,000 on a video, but then I shouldn't spend anything on the knowledge portion. That should be done for me through managers or insert person here. But that's also an investment, right?
That's also an investment. Y'all, for all of you who are watching, feel free to drop any questions or comments or your own experiences in the chat or in the comments below, because we will respond to everything. And if you're still here, give us a little like, share this, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. This kind of stuff helps us reach more people, because what we're really trying to do is create new norms, new ways of thinking and moving within the industry, because this knowledge, like y'all watching this, is an investment of your time. Your time is valuable. It might not be money. And if you do want to give us money, you know, throw a little bit towards our CashApp or our Venmo. And Sto and I can then take that money and invest it in someone to help us with like editing or that kind of stuff.
Because that's what we do. We haven't spent a dime on ourselves. We invested back into it, into ourselves, and making this a better production and stuff like that. And so it's important. You got to do it. You have to invest in. There's no other way, because if you're expecting, especially, as things get thinner and thinner in the industry, and people are realizing how many scumbags there are in the industry, the people of real value are coming up to the top. And it's like, if you aren't willing to invest in them to help your stuff move forward, you're gonna get left behind, because they value themselves too. Go ahead, sorry.
No. So we've talked about, and I feel like this is going to be one of those episodes where we can definitely do like a follow-up, but we've talked about investing in people. We've talked a lot about investing in knowledge and information. Y'all, like, there's hella free online courses from like really prestigious like music programs that you can take online.
And I'm about to take one. That's how common they are.
And maybe it's on music. Like, I took a negotiation class on Coursera. I've taken legal courses also on Coursera, but you have access to like some of the biggest universities. So, you know, maybe that shit is free. Maybe you pay money, but it's the investment of your time and your attention that you're increasing your knowledge. So you want to invest in your people. You want to invest in your knowledge. What else, though, have we, like, what else are the big things that people should?
You see, that's the thing. That's what this note card is for. You see what I'm saying? See what did I tell you the other day? I told you about the note card. Okay, here's the thing, is that like, it's the people, and I feel like we should kind of break down like some of the people that are worth investing in, right? And so I just have a couple examples here, just like graphic designer. I know it sounds crazy, but so many of y'all take graphic designers for granted. If you're not willing to do it yourself, with how many apps are out here today to allow you to do that very, very easily, you need to be paying somebody to do that. Video stuff. I'm kind of stunned by how many video directors I've talked to that just film for free. And I'm not saying like, don't do anything for free. I'm not saying that. We both me and Nora have worked for free. We've done we've done that. That's a thing to do. But like, to ask a director who's spending their time to film, direct, those are two different things, by the way. Filming and directing are two different things. and editing all your stuff, that's a lot of work. And so that's worth investing in. Can't read my handwriting here. Nora, take over for just a second.
Well, I mean, I think another thing that's really important to invest in is in other artists. Because what you want to be doing is building relationships. So there's nothing wrong with doing things for free because you're investing, you're giving your time, your skill, and the investment is in the future of this relationship. Mm-hmm. So, you know, like it's, again, we're not saying that like money has to be the thing, but being mindful of like, you have all these different kinds of resources and capital. Where do you want to put it? And investing in other artists. So that means buying their stuff. That means going to their shows, buying a ticket for yourself and someone else so that they could go with you. That kind of stuff is an investment in your relationship, in your community, in building that like system, that ecosystem around you.
Share the damn link.
Sharing their links. But like in terms of that's like sharing link is your social capital, right? Buying a ticket is your financial capital. Going to a show, that's your attention capital. So one is I want y'all to think really broadly about all the ways that investment can look. But when you're investing in other artists, then you're building like the resource pool that you can pull from when you need someone to shoot a video for you, or you need someone to open for you, but you don't have the budget, but because y'all have built that relationship, right? And a lot of this we talk about in our networking and in our negotiation workshops, but all of this comes together. And that's the other thing is like, these things don't happen in silos. And so as you're planting a seed here and planting a seed here, sometimes it takes time for something to take root. Sometimes it takes time for something to grow, but that's why you want to have a big picture, like overview of your career and your plan and your business strategy around it, is because while you're planting these seeds, this stuff is growing. And as you're, and so I think that's the other place where artists get really caught up is they're like, well, I paid for something and I didn't see what I wanted. So, but it doesn't work that way. It's not always linear.
Absolutely. And that's such a good, you should go back and watch our networking episode because this is going to sound, I'm pivoting a smidge, but it's like networking is not, let me use my way to the top. It is genuine, like relationship building and building connections. And believe it or not, I know this sounds crazy, but sharing other people's work. Like, I feel like a lot of artists, like they'll grab some people, grab a team and all this other stuff and directors and graphic designers. And then the video drops and they don't credit nobody. It's like, wait a minute. Why would I want to keep working with you? Why would I want to build to the top if we're not even willing to share each other's work and stuff like that? And so, yeah, I just, investing in yourself and stuff like that is so important in any industry, but especially the creative one where, again, so many of you don't even understand that you're in control of your own destiny. Like you're waiting, like if you're still waiting for a label, if you're still waiting for, I don't know, just some brand, some festival to just stumble across your stuff and then pay you a ton of money to cultivate your career, like, I'm sorry, you're going to be super disappointed. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but like the investing in yourself, the little steps you take every day, like, again, builds to the long-term goal. When we say things artists should pay for, I'm gonna say it again. Like a lot of y'all are gonna see this and be like, what should I be paying for? Like I'm making the music, like you should be paying me. And it's like, you're absolutely right. But like, if you're trying to get it out there to other people, if you're trying to increase your audience to where you are seeing those profits and stuff like that, you're gonna have to invest in yourself and other people, because we all need help. This isn't. We definitely did an episode on this. It's not a one-man show. It's not a one-woman show. We got to work together. There's actually no way we can survive as an industry independently if we don't work together. Independent, working together. I know that's like kind of like, opposites, I guess, but like
independent is a myth. Like independent, because like we say
it's a myth. That's right. God damn it.
We say independent, like we think that, like it means solo, but it doesn't mean solo. independent means you're independent, because independent actually is a response or a reaction to the majors. So it just means you're independent from the majors, but it doesn't mean that you're alone. And a lot of times the independent artists are in a sub label with the, like, so it doesn't actually mean anything. But what is important to remember is what Sto is saying, that music is a communal thing. Any kind of entrepreneurship is a communal thing. And so as we come up on the 30 minutes, and, you know, we try to keep these bite-sized enough that you could like watch an episode, take notes, practice it, watch the other episodes that we referred to, all that good stuff. What I hope you take away is that the more you invest in yourself, the more dividends it's going to get. So we don't want you to like sit on your resources, use your resources, and invest in people, invest in knowledge, invest in things that will expand your time and expand in your community, invest in other creatives. And what you'll see is dividends, because you're so, you know, give yourself the same kind of support that you give other people, and allow yourself to ask for help, allow yourself to ask for resources. So that's the too long, didn't watch the whole thing, fast forward to the end version of this episode. But I would love to hear in the comments, as folks are watching this, what have you paid for that has paid off? And this is the last thing I'll say, because sometimes people pay for things and they're like, oh, that was a waste. Okay, so that's knowledge and information. And now you know. So that's also valuable. Like there's value in learning things the so-called hard way. So that's also like, you're not wasting money. You're just gathering more knowledge, more information that then you'll use to make more money in the future or get more of whatever it is your outcome is. So don't be so hard on yourself. Allow for the learning curve to happen. Shout out to, like Serial Sensei says, I pay for artwork because I can't do it, and it pays off every single time. You don't have to do everything by yourself. So I'd love to hear in the chat or in the comments, what have you paid for that has paid off? That was a good investment in yourself and in your career. Also, mental health. I can't believe we haven't even said this. Invest in your mental health. Pay for therapy. Oh, it's right there. It's right there in the third bullet. Pay for therapy. Pay for things that allow you to rest. Pay for things that give you comfort and inspiration. Like, you matter as an artist. And so whatever allows you to be whole, as a paying for childcare, if that lets you get in the, you know, like all those kinds of things are worthwhile things to invest in, because it allows you to do more of what matters to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, Nora nailed it. Somehow we've come up upon the 33rd minute, but I do want to make sure we get our housekeeping in. Of course, we somehow have 6 people live, so I appreciate you all for watching. Please leave a like, leave a comment on the things you've invested in. On even if you're questioning, like, hey, should I invest in this? Should I not? Leave it in the comments always. Leaving a like allows us to get in front of more people, sharing this with your network, even just posting it once on your Twitter, on your YouTube, Threads, LinkedIn, whatever it is. Posting it even once allows us to get in front of more people who need this information. Hey, listen, we talked about it. Nora was saying we try to keep it bite-sized, but like, listen, Salt Lake City on tonight. Listen, I'm trying to watch, so I ain't missing that. So, we appreciate you all for watching episode 83. Go back, hold on, got it on the note card. Go back and watch episode 61, things you shouldn't pay for. This is honestly a sequel episode to that, and that was 22 episodes ago. How? But that's worth watching, because we've seen a lot of scams and stuff like that. And that's why we made this episode, to be like, okay, here's what you should be paying for, not this stuff over here. Also go back and watch 2 weeks ago episode number 82, pay to play. Sorry, still trying to learn how to fucking do the fucking conclusion, so deal with it. 82, pay to play. We don't believe in it, but we also give a slight little argument for pay to play. So check it out. Let us know if you've ever experienced it, and give us that feedback. Give us topics. We come up with topics every like 2 weeks or whatever. But if you guys give us topics, it allows us to formulate episodes around that. I'm talking too long.
Don't forget to submit for Den Music Fest if you're in Atlanta or LA in early November. Early bird tickets are on sale, so that's denmusicfest.com. Drink some water, support an artist that you love who's early in their career. And our next episode in 2 weeks is about live performances and leveraging your opportunity. So you got on that festival stage or you got on that show, and then what do you do? So definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. Come back and see us in 2 weeks. We're here Wednesdays at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. Share with a friend, and we will see you all next time.
Get a website, get a newsletter, drink some water, talk nice to yourself. We're out of here.